Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader and in this video we are taking a look at NIO stock. This thing has been on a run in last few weeks. However, there are some critical areas that we need to be cautious about because this thing has a history of struggling to regain some important long-term critical levels, and at this point it's right at one of those levels. A lot to talk about in this video. Definitely we have NIO's earnings as well tomorrow. So we'll see what are the possibilities, and also I'll take you over some of the data, share my opinion, and with that I also want to let you know none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes. Just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So NIO has been on a decline forever, right? Like 3, 4 years. And this red area, the red rectangle you're seeing on my screen, it's from the 2 years ago time, that almost around that, I would say, that I drew it back then as I was talking about it. And then I was like, this is where when it lost, I'm like, nah, it's a dead one. It's a dead stock now. And it's been what since then, almost more than a year, yeah, a year and a half, almost around that it has been since then. It did come up all those areas, but it still continued to reject. And that's what I'm saying is that this area that is a $7 zone, it's a very critical important zone. Right now I'm on the daily interval. Let me take you to the weekly interval first. So while I'm talking about the weekly interval, I just want to emphasize something here, that tomorrow as we have earnings, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. This thing can brutally gap down or could gap up as well. All right. So if it gaps down, it's over. All right. It's over. The only point on NIO is moving forward. If this thing gaps up above $7, I'll talk about what are the areas we can all the way go to, then where it's gonna open up to, and all of that. But it's important for it to gap up tomorrow after earnings if you want to have a longevity in the uptrend on this thing. If it falls, craters, or it's over. But we'll talk about that. So here we are. This is a very critical important zone still, $7, and you can see it came all the way back there. I'm on the weekly interval right now, and this is where it's right now showing some resistance right now from last couple of days. So it will get clear if I get back to the daily interval. You can see from last pretty much whole week, it's just a little bit going sideways here. However, it's not bearish right now. It's still in a proper good uptrend. All right. It's still proper in a good uptrend, which is a good sign. Now, as I said, definitely we'll see some gap up or gap down tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see, or it may just go sideways. But I'll talk about all those scenarios as well. Now let's get through that part first. If we gap down, definitely, as I say, it's just not in the play. Even though structure may remain overall bullish until $5.63 area, however, just because it's still rejected at that longevity or the long-term type of a significant area, you may just be stuck again on this thing in a choppiness, right? So the only next play on this thing is above $7 at this point. Okay, now that's one scenario that we want to see it above $7. What if it just does nothing and goes sideways? That's also okay. That's not bad sign on NIO. So because it's on the multi-day, I'm on the hourly interval now, it's still holding a strengthful structure. As long as we can continue to hold above $6.33, all is good. Even if after earnings, let's say it doesn't gap up and can stay above $6.33, it's still good. Okay, it still has a room to then try to push higher. Definitely, as I went over some levels like that $5.60 around, definitely there's a significant level behind actually this red box as well, which is right now covered by the red box. But there is one significant level right over there. As if we lose significant level 634 and $6.34 and so forth, we'll get into the pullback mode actually. Then we'll get into the multi-day weakness, and that's what I'm saying, that until $5.60 around, you can take it as more of a pullback, right? But what I'm also saying is that there's just no point in playing this thing for an uptrend, proper one, if it doesn't get above $7 because it's still below that critical rejection. So that uptrend that will still remain in may not have any prominence or strength for the long term until we get above $7. That's the defining zone. Now, as we get above $7, what are the next areas this thing can go all the way to? Where it's gonna open up all the way to? Because this is a strong resistance where we are. So gapping up above it will make it a very strong support as well. The next zone is around $9.50. Is it can push up all the way there. It has a room to push up there. And after that, now I'm not saying this thing all gonna happen in a single day. Now, but what I'm saying is that where's the next rooms on this? And after $9.50, it has a room for $14. May likely do it by the end of the year, but we need that strength and momentum to show up on this thing above $7. It's very important at this point for NIO tomorrow after earnings to get above $7, and that will open it up to these levels. I know it's nowhere closer to like $50, $60 where it was at once, like 2021. I don't have any position in NIO, just so you know. But slowly and slowly, as we can regain these levels, like $7 above, it will open it up to $9.60 around, and then after that, $14 around, it's going to open up. Yes, we can talk about the levels above as well, definitely 16 as well, but then also then 23 around. Anyways, we are not there yet, so right now I'm not gonna talk about that. So, but this is what to watch in the price action. Accordingly, you will manage your risk. Um, for your ongoing trailing areas, support areas, and whatnot. And even if you have, if you took any of the trades here on NIO, any of the position here, you are still just fine. But just remember, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings, so you should have taken some partial profits already. With NIO, especially because it has a history of just collapsing, and I think you will have some time because its earnings are in the morning. You will still have some time in the pre-market to take some partial profits if you like. But anyways, I'm just sharing my opinion here. So yeah, those are the levels to watch. Now I want to take you over some of the data on NIO, and this is again I like to show it as per the shares outstanding. Now NIO has it's and also NIO is more like ADR. Okay, it's like a certificate type of a trade. Okay, it's a but what you are seeing here is like just the liquidation. They're just liquidating the heck out of this thing, right? And it's not even in millions. No wonder why this stock is so slow to move, because the more shares floating around, the more volume it needs to move, right? Because too many shares means it's just going to keep absorbing any of the buyers. And that's where the problem is also with these super high. It's like a such a high float on this thing, right? Not in any good way. It's not a big cap high float stock, right? The problem is that it's not a really good big cap stock. Also, it trades on ADR, and also they have liquidated the heck out of their shareholders. Now, even if we take 2021, we are talking in billions, not even millions. We are talking in billions. All right. In 2021, 1.6 billion shares outstanding. All right. And now they are at 2.2 billion, not million, billion. And there is no sign of slowing down any of their liquidations, right? Like capital raises, shares outstanding increasing, because that's how company is staying afloat, right? Issuing new and new shares and raising money or getting money that way. Look, I trade technically. There is a technical, structure showing some strength right now in NIO. As long as those level holds, it's important, and breakouts we see, especially tomorrow. If that can happen, great. And NIO also had a history of post or earnings would shift. Hopefully, um, it this would not shift this time. They will do it on time. They will not pass through the day. Last time it was on 5th of September, so it should be around same time. Sometimes companies would closer to the day they would say, "Oh, no, not today," which are, not really big prominent companies. So, but anyway, seems like it will be tomorrow. Everything so far says it's tomorrow. Anyways, that's what I want to talk about to you guys in this video, and we'll see you in the next videos. Take care, bye.